From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python, Ben, a.k.a. Mexican El Shadamas, and yours truly, Benjamin James, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. And, you know, unfortunately, we have to open up the show with a pretty sickening story out of the great state of Pennsylvania on a train. I think they call it, what is it, SEPTA?
Yeah.
Is there
I didn't
transit
quite catch
system?
it. I didn't quite catch the name of it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not real familiar with their public transit vernacular, but I think it's SEPTA is what they call this train line. Anyway, so
nonetheless, RAPTA.
That's all right.
RAPTA.
No, it will be now. That I think you just started a whole new campaign for their public works. But anyway, a gentleman assaulted. I guess he began on one of these trains, right? With they say a handful of people. They didn't really specify the number of people involved, but nonetheless, people were there and witnessed a man approach a woman, talking to her. Woman becomes uncomfortable. Things escalate and eventually lead to him raping her in front of several other passengers who did absent. Not only did they not intervene, no one even called the police, which is, I get, depending on, I don't know the status of these people. If they're an 80-year-old woman, you're probably not going to want to physically intervene. Okay. So there's a spectrum to be had there. Nonetheless, if you're a regular citizen, by God, at least call fucking 911. Yeah.
Bro.
That's pretty disheartening to know. And you've heard of these things happen before, right? Like there's stories of horrible crimes being committed, and there are several bystanders, but you know, what is it like? The bigger the crowd, the more responsibility diffuses amongst the witnesses and things like that. Or like maybe somebody else will do something. There's a famous case they teach you in psychology classes all over the collegiate world about a shooting that happened somewhere, I think in Massachusetts, and there was like an entire block of people that heard it, saw it, had evidence. Not one person called the police just because they think, oh, well, maybe somebody else is or what have you. But holy shit, this is like a group of people. To me, it's unfathomable to not take any action whatsoever. I'm not saying you got to go over there and, I get it. The guy was a young man, probably intimidating. And hey, I get it. If you're 75 years old, you're not going to go kick this dude's ass, but nobody even called the cops. That's what I have the hardest time believing,
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It's just unfathomable how you can basically watch a person be raped and not intervene in any way. I mean, I understand, like, there's that fear and everyone gets nervous and there's some type of like, I guess apprehension to not get involved. But if a female is being raped in front of you, like, well, first off, just let's not even, not even broaching the topic of rape, but just if you see two people like having sex with you in public, like, what I'm saying? Like, there's already that reaction. You're going to be like, come on, get a fucking room. Like, what I'm saying? People are going to at least say that. But to see someone get raped in front of you forcefully, and they're being raped, I don't understand how much of a bunch of D-bags are on this fucking train.
I don't know about that, man.
What honestly, do you mean? I mean, we're in Texas, so constitutional carry would have ended that very quickly. That would have been a bad situation for the rapist.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
How many people would have shot him? Oh my God.
Have you ever seen anyone get raped?
What?
Any of you two? Have you?
I mean,
no, I have not. Not
to my acknowledgement. No.
So how would you know you're looking at it if you've never seen it?
Bro, I think it's pretty easy to tell.
Do you wake up one morning and say, I think I'm going to see a rape on the train?
Dude, what are you talking about? Bro,
in defense of the people, they must be, no. In defense of the people that were sitting there, I think they didn't know what they were looking at because they've never seen it. And they weren't expecting to see it on a fucking train.
Bro,
maybe you can identify rape on the internet, but not on the fucking train.
I've never seen a dragon, but if I fucking saw someone with big wings flying through the sky with the tail and look like a lizard, it's
call the fire
dragon.
Yeah. It's a call. That's a 911 call.
Dragon? That's what you'd say.
No, I wouldn't be like, motherfucker, that's a dragon.
No, dude.
Bitch, that shit got fire coming out of his mouth. I mean, bro, you don't have to be a genius to identify rape. I mean,
and not only that, I don't buy that because I see shit I've never seen in my life every fucking day, and I figure out some sort of, you know what I mean? There's some response to, regardless of what degree or to what it is, but
I mean, there are some things
I get what you mean. I get what you mean as far as like seeing something like that, you'd be in shock, or if you even made the argument, right? Or if you made the argument like, well, maybe these two know each other, or whatever. From what I heard though, there was quite a few verbal protests from the victim. So, and I'm pretty sure they were all in earshot. It's not like there's a lot of other distractions for, if you're a handful of people on a train with this going on.
There was a case in San Francisco, also in a public transit, where this old man was getting beaten up on a train, and nobody called for help because everybody had their heads down on their phones. Nobody was looking up.
They're too busy recording it.
Right? Well, they're like, oh shit, he getting his ass.
Yeah, so he's like, oh shit, yo,
world star.
Well, I mean, it is nice to get featured there once in a while,
But okay, I get what you're saying, right? I do kind of understand what you're saying, but I think the problem is there's a difference when so if you see two men fighting, right, and maybe there's a biasness inherently in the situation, but if you see two men fighting, like, okay, well, good fucking luck, right? I mean, that's what you think. You think, all right, well, these two douchebags are gonna beat the shit out of each other.
Right. Something happened.
I don't give a fuck.
Right. There was a dispute. They're figuring it out. They're two men. They are deemed by society to be capable of defending themselves.
Exactly.
Right.
And I don't care. And I don't give a fuck.
On some level.
Good luck.
But
right.
But man victimizing a female. That's fucked up. That's a whole nother situation. I mean, I could even see I could maybe comprehend the psychology of like a chick beating a dude's ass and everybody not really knowing what to do, but like, I mean, I guess he deserved it. He's a piece of shit. Like I could see that before I could see a man victimizing a woman. To me, I don't know, man. That doesn't hold water when it's like,
I don't get that. I think
I'm not saying
what you just have is a bunch of fucking cowards, dude.
Yeah, I honestly, I think what it boils down to is, well, I mean, you can make bigger. This is a whatever. Anytime you get a handful of a group, right? It's a sample size of because they were randomly there, whatever. But like, I guess what I mean is, so I want to avoid blowing this up into like, this is what's wrong with society because 6 fucking people acted like, fucking D-bags. But I do think it is a little bit indicative of a bigger problem we have and we'll actually touch on, I feel like we'll come full circle later in the program when we discuss a little bit about the metaverse and what Facebook's trying to create and how, whether that's good or bad. But I do think that the way we exist and interact with other people, there's this detachment that you can't argue that's more prevalent than it was, let's just say 20 years ago. In other words, I think that's part of what makes this so newsworthy is that we all have this gut feeling that personal interactions are going down a negative spiral. And this reflects that a symptom, it's symptomatic of that. In other words, like this is maybe the first of many of these stories that we'll end up seeing.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I just think it's sad.
I still think people on the train were, because there were maybe quite a few of them, they were waiting for consensus from somebody to be like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And then you look at the next person, the other person looks at you and they're like, I don't know, is that what I think I'm seeing? And it goes on in like a little chain and nobody really knows what to do because nobody can really confirm what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe that's just groupthink.
Oh no, it's groupthink, 100%. That is what that is.
it may be groupthink or whatever, but at the same time, this is just one of those ridiculous situations where individuals are just I just think that's just the world we live in. And I know we're not trying to harp into that, but that's just what it is. These fucking people just didn't give a fuck. Some poor little girl was being raped, or little or woman or whatever.
I think she was an adult, but I mean it.
But still getting raped.
Way.
Yeah, I mean, getting fucking raped. You know, and we all talk about, you know, like, you know, freedom, and we talk about all these wonderful things. Everyone tries to act like they're so upstanding, but then they're gonna let that happen. But just to throw a little curve into this, because I think this is an interesting part of this, is that the individuals that stood and watched it happen, or, you know, didn't intervene or do anything about it, those individuals may actually be subject to criminal penalties.
Right. That's what.
So that has been thrown into this whole debate. So that's another thing. You know, not only are you being a fucking poon, but
criminal.
But now you're a criminal poon. You know what I'm saying? It's just all out horrible.
You're pretty much aiding a rape.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just messed up. I mean, they're going to try to use the racer law. You know, the racer law.
No.
If you're racing, like, let's say if you see a couple of guys racing their cars, right, and you actually are in attendance and start watching the races,
right,
you can actually be penalized.
Oh, okay.
You can actually be criminally negligent. So I think that's what they're trying to apply, that if you're watching a crime, you too can be prosecuted for the crime. Not necessarily the crime, but you can be prosecuted for actually abetting or watching, supporting said crime. So, you know, that's an interesting twist into this, because not only should these assholes have done anything, but now they're going to be held criminally, you know, negligent for doing it, or not criminally, or just negligence or some type of fault for doing this. So it's pretty messed up, man. I mean, to me, this is just one situation where everyone just pooned out.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's really,
it's fucking sad. It's fucking sad. I mean, I couldn't imagine this as a father of daughters, and, you know, I have a sister, you know, all this shit. If nobody, you know what I'm saying, helped one of them, I mean, I would almost want to get them also as much as I wanted to get the rapist.
No, for sure.
So it's just sad.
Let that be a lesson, you know, if you ever think about that, you know. And can you imagine a word? Not only that, but like now, after Jesus, dude, chill.
Sorry.
Can you imagine
nervous.
Can you imagine a worse feeling though than like after this has happened, now being one of those passengers?
Oh yeah. I hope they out them. I hope they dox each one of them. I hope they show every one of their pictures, and because they all deserve to commit some type of form of harry-carry or seppuku and end their shit. No, they do. I don't know. No. They need to remove themselves from the gene pool, and I hope none of them have populated the world with any more of their shitty genes, because what you don't need to be. I mean, dude, sometimes you got to take an ass whooping, right? Sometimes you have to get hurt, and that's life. But if it's in defense of something honorable, then that's it. And so those individuals they need to commit seppuku. They need to find the nearest bridge and toss their asses off of it, because they're pieces of shit that don't deserve the air they're breathing, period. If you don't, you know, a chick's getting raped, right? Just as long as you know all these other fucking things. Those individuals don't deserve the air they're breathing.
No, that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as say they should all commit seppuku, but
I think they should commit seppuku.
I mean,
and as it occurs, like as it occurs, you know, someone starts slapping like their female loved ones in front of them as they're committing it. Like, just really fucking grind the point. Like, you are a complete douchebag.
You know who else?
What you did was a shithole. Yeah,
you know what that can be said about too?
Who?
There's a handful of Spanish dudes that like to write.
Hey, bro.
They're authors. They thought a better way than to do a little collab work as a thriller author, they thought they would create
this is rough.
A pseudonym. So basically what happened, 3 Spanish writers created a pseudonym, a female entity a fictional female entity that was apparently writing all these very popular thriller novels. Okay. They just got an award, which is whatever it is for it. I don't know the name of it. In Spain, it's a big deal for writing.
It's like la historia de
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The-
Something we've never heard. Yeah.
Mi corazón.
la historia de nuestro.
Corazón.
So
Fucking Spaniards.
That's how they talk, man.
I know they do. Fuck.
I tried to speak to them. I saw Texas slang, but they didn't understand me what I was saying.
They probably wanted to smack you. Like,
Probably.
shut the fuck up.
they
Like,
probably don't even know.
I was like, hey, Holmes, ¿dónde está el baño?
No, you did not. You lying motherfucker. You never did that shit.
Una cerveza.
He like,
They're like-
what? This pendejo over here. They got that word
Anyway,
right.
sorry, Benjamin.
No. I'm exploring.
I
I'm
have to make
exploring
fun of-
further.
I gotta make
No,
fun
it's-
of the Spanish because I just don't.
Yeah, no, it's a
appreciate that
totally
either.
different. It's
What
it's,
is every
it's
time it's the Z,
Spanish.
right? Corazón. What else is it?
Corazón,
What is the other words? God, what's the big ones that they use?
Vosotros with it.
Yeah, well, you use all vos. Yeah, everything's os. Hey,
Vos.
shut up. Sound like a bunch of Nazis. Yeah, I just
Okay, easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. You're calling it
I like.
I just
I
Might
like
as
to
well,
keep things.
man.
that tense is rough, dude. It's
I know. I like to think. I like to keep things between 25 and 75. We don't want to go too.
fucking
too, I like to-
whatever. You know what? I'll take it. Fucking Franco, bunch
Sure.
of Franco
All right.
bastards.
Well, no, just to finish my thought. So yeah, three writers, and they not only that, but they did interviews. Like that's the whole thing. Like they did over the course of whatever the career that this fictional author had, she did interviews and shit, of which obviously they, and they created. There's alleged photographs of her, but she's always turned the other way, and the backstory was that she wanted to remain out of the public eye, so she was never photographed and all these things. So, I don't know. On the one hand, you're like, this is garbage. This is fraud, blah, blah, blah. It's Milli Vanilli. But on the other hand, it's like, does anybody, I mean, they're writing books, man. Like it's,
Well, I think it's funny.
Gives a
I think it's
fuck.
funny.
I think
right?
it's funny.
Don't you? I think it's funny because I think the fact that honestly, had they published the book as three men, would they have gotten as much notoriety as they
Probably
do?
not.
Right. So it was to me, it's pretty fucking, they did it on purpose because they know, that if they wrote as a, and that was part of what the article says, that if they kind of knew that if they wrote as a female that's supposedly like a mother by day that took care of her children, that it was going to garner more respect, more support. Hell, this female author that they had, basically made up was considered a feminist icon until they announced who they were. Right. So, I mean,
They're like the Rachel Dolezal of the mystery Spanish book,
Oh, too soon.
What?
But
I'm just saying, man.
You see
You're
what I'm saying?
pretending you're something, but you're not, and they like you swear by it. Nah,
Dude, that was bad, dude. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's not go to Dolezal. But in the end, I mean, but had they been men, do you think they would have gotten half the accolades they got?
no.
They would have been told what?
Mystery books.
Exactly. Or they would have been told that they were trying to co-opt, a female point of view. But apparently they wrote it at a very strong female point of view that, was almost, considered a feminist thing. So I thought it was, to me, I thought it was hilarious. They know exactly what they were doing. And when they accepted the award, they were all smiling like a bunch of assholes because they know they got everybody.
You know what though? I would have, if I was accepting that award or whatever, and they were like, people were surprised about the, who was writing the book, not a woman. I would have been like, babe, it's true.
Oh boy. Oh boy. The Milli Vanilli recital. You know what I always, what I thought about? You know what I thought about as soon as I saw this article? You ever seen As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson?
Yes, I have.
There's a very funny part where the some like kind of side character person goes up to Jack Nicholson, says, "Oh my God, I love the books you write. How do you write such good female characters?" Right. And so when he says so when she asks, "How do you write such good female characters?" Jack Nicholson says, "I think of a male character devoid of logic and reason." So like for some reason, every time I see this fucking post, I'm like, these fucking guys just basically pulled a Jack Nicholson in this fucking situation, because if you think about it, they completely it's just fucking hilarious.
it's true.
And that they were that this person was also considered a feminist is even better. And their picture when they're accepting the award should be like hung in a National Gallery of Art, because they basically are like, oh, suckers.
Yeah, they're laughing. They're
we
serious.
Rich,
they're
bitch.
they're very pleased with themselves.
Oh, extremely, extremely pleased.
The only thing I know about these guys is one photograph, and that one photograph says 1,000 words. And basically, what it says is like suckers, yeah,
and none of them have 2 X chromosomes,
and
they're just like balling. Yeah. Dude, I think it was pretty
like, imagine
funny.
If Harry Potter wasn't written by J.K. Rowling, it was written by like 3 black dudes.
3 dudes. Dude, that'd be awesome. I wish it was.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on.
If I didn't know why you had to put Potter race. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, because it's a complete opposite of. What's the complete opposite of?
I got you.
Of J.K. Rowling, you know.
No, for sure. Okay, all right.
Dude, that would actually. I'll be honest with you. If 3 black guys had written fucking Harry Potter, it would have probably been the greatest fucking saga ever. Imagine like an urban twist. Which, you know,
I was thinking about it, man.
Hey, here's the twist.
You had a school with 4 gangs, and they're kind of like,
dude, right?
Always up on each other.
Like that's, fucking like, dude, like 9mm, everything, dude. It would have fucking
no, hold on,
great.
Hold on.
The sex scenes.
We're describing Yates High School right here, man. Don't worry about it.
You guys, you guys, it's okay.
The sex scenes would have been great. You seen Baby Boy? Oh yeah, dude, it would have been fucking.
No, they do.
Crazy.
Yeah, no. Black cinema does have better sex scenes.
Thank you.
They're more hardcore.
Thank you. That's not like racist at all. They go straight to the.
No, they really do. They really
they go for it.
Yeah, they don't beat around the bush. It's just
fucking do the right thing.
They don't beat around the bush.
Do the right thing. Fucking
no, you're right.
Spike Lee and
damn it. Now
Rosie Perez. Think about it. They
hold
really
on a second.
Fuck.
Now that I'm thinking about it, you're right.
Thank
dude.
you, sir. Thank you.
That's an accurate observation.
Yeah, there's nothing racist about it. They're just more sensual in their scenes. It's fucking.
I don't think
amazing.
sensual is the right word. I think it's more. There's a more like no, but they definitely is more of like a raw cinematic take to it. It's more of a whereas opposed most like Hollywood kind of mainstream Hollywood movies, you know what I mean? It's like soft lens. Shit is implied more so than actually shown on the screen. Whereas like, yeah, man, like Baby Boy or whatever. It's like, oh, they're fucking like that's what's happening. Right
remember, like, what's his name? Bing Rames is like jumping with his mom across the room.
That was
doing the frog.
Not subtle.
Like, you ever done the froggy? I'm like, what the froggy? Like,
that was never.
You know how many dudes' kneecaps were blown trying to do that move, but they were going for it, bro. I mean, it was cool shit. It was good shit. So no, that's not even any way. It's just imagine the sex scenes in Harry Potter. Had that been that way, I mean, fucking Hermione would have just been wore out.
I don't know
by the end of the series.
Harry Potter had sex scenes.
They didn't. That's what I'm saying, bro.
They would.
Sweet.
That's what I think. That's what he's saying. Yeah. If it was,
Hermione would have been worn out. She would have to be drinking Gatorade between clips.
I will not get involved with that. I will just stay out of that one. Leave me out of this one, all right?
Oh my god, the little redhead boy would have been just going for it, dude. It'd been gangster.
Please.
Oh shit. Anyways, but continuing.
I know, right? But the characters are so like this whole thing. This is so great.
But think about it. Really think about it.
The characters are still the same.
Think about it. She's what they found out. She's like homophobic, like all jacked up and shit, like anti-trans. You know what I'm saying? Had you gotten somebody a little bit looser in that story?
Well, no,
bro.
What's starting to intrigue me about this fictitious scenario is that I guess we didn't say, we just said black, but I think per the conversation, we're implying that they're African American.
Right.
Writing like a fantasy novel set in England.
Exactly.
With white British kids They're not it. Like, you know what I mean? The characters are still the same. It's still Harry Potter. It's still but
amazing.
But the writer, that's fucking great, man. Like, so they're channeling their perspective through these little magicians in England at this little exclusive magician school.
Fucking
somebody fucking make that happen.
Oh my God.
It's already happened.
It's already happened.
Sorry, man. J.K. Rowling is the real author of that thing. So sorry about that. We've been in the
oh my God.
No, but
that would have been the best.
Make our version of Harry Potter. That would be a favorite.
Hey, it's three of us. Why don't we just write a book ourselves?
Why the fuck? The whole time. It's like right there in our laps. Why the fuck don't we just do it?
Oh, right. Jesus.
Benji, you have a play already in mind.
Now we're fucking.
We'll start with that.
Is this right?
We had that opera. Remember?
Is this where we're going, guys? And we're gonna start.
It'll be about like 3 Irish dudes or something, or like a bunch of little Irish kids.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we should do? We should do it like fucking Must Rewind. Remember that movie with what's his name?
Jack Black and Most
Def. Remember where they made the movies as they were for all the videos?
Oh, that's right.
Dude, we could do that.
Yeah.
Fucking great movie.
Be Kind, Rewind.
Be Kind, Rewind. If you're out there in the universe, that's what we'll do, right? We'll just record shitty versions on these tapes and somehow reopen a Blockbuster and just make all of our fucking movies like with like like the minds of the exact opposite of the people who originally created it.
I saw one where they did the Matrix with like $20 and they used like spoons as sunglasses.
That's awesome.
Like those black plastic spoons as sunglasses.
See? Exactly.
And then there was like someone leaning behind the other dude and he was like leaning and do that bullet dodging scene.
Dude, I'm telling you, we could do this, guys. And I'm pretty excited. Excited. That's our newest venture. So y'all be on the lookout for Rhonda Edge Media to do the remake of Harry Potter.
We're gonna start ghostwriting a little bit.
Wild style.
We spoiled it, so we can't really pretend we're a you know what I mean?
Do you think we're gonna get sued?
Nah. Who's gonna sue a cheap production of Harry
even
Potter?
Cares? Like not enough people even care to be sued. Well, it's just like Jeffrey. Check this out.
I mean, think about how much money can they get out of us if they sue us. I mean, this is
at least we LLC'd, right? I mean, we
spend more money on the court taking us to court than actually what they get back. It's a horrible investment.
This is true. I have to agree with the assessment from my esteemed colleague. I think we got this, guys.
The financial component of Skip the Noise podcast or Rounded Edge Media, however you want it.
Dude, I love it. I love this shit. I love it so much. We need to do this. Sorry.
What I don't love though is the ability for the CCP to launch hypersonic nukes at Miami anytime they want in 5 seconds because we can't do shit about it because they're hypersonic. Yeah. Turns out that they're on the cutting edge of this shit and we're behind. So a couple of sources of high credibility basically predict that, well, since they got the upper hand on this, basically look to them to basically it's checkmate in about 10 years.
Well, okay.
It was kind of the assessment.
Okay, but okay.
Maybe.
But I don't see it. I don't see that, right? I don't see them. The hypersonic missiles, wow, it's cute. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's they're already fucking fast, right? The Iron Dome project for sure they're fast. Like our intercontinental ballistic missiles already travel pretty fucking quick. So now we got ones that travel twice as quick. So it's like, okay, now we're dead faster. I mean, in the end, it's just like fucking beating a dead horse. It's like, okay, now our nukes can get to you faster. Okay, we couldn't stop the original one, so great. Now we have less anxiety waiting for our pending death. I mean, damn it. It's fucking stupid. I mean, what a waste of money, China. You know, why don't you fucking do something else, you fucking douchebags? I mean, what a bunch of morons. It's like,
you know who
fucking dumbasses. I'm gonna make my missile faster. First off, you have to be able to make a nuclear payload that actually detonates. And China came and fucking make toys and big Happy Meals that stay together for more than 21 seconds. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? No fucking fear at
He's
all.
not saying anything wrong so far.
Yeah. Okay, guess what? I would be more afraid if I was the Chinese people when they launched that bitch. Because guess what? In reality, they probably launched. They said like, "Oh, it circled the Earth 3 times before we knew it." They probably didn't even know it was going to do that. They just thought that shit was going to go up and come down real quick. They're like, "Oh shit, it's circling the Earth. What are we gonna do?"
I mean, oops. Just like oops, did we let out the doomsday virus?
Oh, I mean, Chinese quality control can suck my ass, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we really afraid? I'm pretty sure their own hypersonic missiles would go so fast and they would program them so wrong that they would just come right back around like a boomerang and hit them. I don't know. I'm not really afraid of China at all. I know a lot of people get all their dicks all hard being afraid of them, but you know, seeing as they have like no real anything, they still use the AK-47, which is been around since the fucking 60s as their main like gun daily. I'm not seeing much, man. I don't know. I'm not really afraid of the Chinese at all, as you can tell. So.
Yeah, but you know, if they were able to release a virus and we still don't know what the motives behind it, whether it was intentional or not, let's just say that they're not going to stop from using a nuke. You know, they're crazy, man.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm not. Look,
there are, and there's no way to stop it now.
Right. I'm not saying that like. Well, there wasn't really a way to stop an intercontinental ballistic missile. Was there really ways to stop it? I mean, Iron Dome can't. These things are detonated fucking what? Most of the time they're, I know, okay, so, and I imagine someone could fact check me, but most of the time they're detonated quite a bit above the target area, right? So they just got to get, like, these things are, they're moving pretty fucking fast. So, I don't know. It just sounds, it's just more saber rattling.
The ICBM's been around for a while now. And so you would think that maybe the governments of the world have come up with a way to block them. You would hope. But this presents a new technology now where whatever technology we have currently is not able to stop them. But what we've seen in the past is, as shitty as China is, when they're pushed into a wall, when they're pushed into the corner, they're willing to do whatever they have to do to get out of that corner. Whether it's release a virus or set off a nuclear missile or invade Taiwan.
I think in all honesty, and I'm still gonna stand by my belief. The fucking coronavirus was just a QC issue. Just like, I mean, they can't do shit right. They really can't. Like, Lord knows, like they've had this public space mission. How many fucking dudes died before that shit worked? China is one of those countries that basically goes, okay, well, if we do something 60 times and it works once, that's a success, you know? So, I mean, fuck, dude, one of them might get to us, bro, but the other 7,000 they fired are going to go everywhere else. It's going to look like one of those fireworks, you know, where they go shoot in the sky and you see them all go different directions.
Anybody who witnessed their nuclear, check it out. Anybody who witnessed the first unsuccessful 59 times got murdered.
They did, right? Somebody fucking knows, bro.
It was 100% accurate.
Exactly.
Studies show.
You know what? China could go fuck themselves. I know everyone gets so nervous about this fucking Chinese threat.
I mean, I do. I get nervous about China, dude. I'm so scared. Bro, I'm so scared of China.
You're like fucking sound like Cartman from the fucking whenever he had the nightmares of the Chinese Olympics and they're like all beating on the drums, he's like, no, China's gonna get me. No.
I am a little scared.
I'm not, dude.
I'm glad you're not, because
well, look, ladies and gentlemen,
we helps me.
We have the Aegis fleet in that sea between Taiwan and China. The Aegis fleet is basically a moving city, not a town, moving city that has so much armament and weapons, and top of these, like everything, like Iron Dome times 7, like it's Iron fucking Eagle shit on there. And you know, 80s reference for all y'all out there, or 90s. But in the 80s, end, 80s, it was 80s. Yeah, I think the last one's the 90s. Oh, either way. So I digress. But either fucking way, we have all the arms in the world right there. I'm not worried about them. I think this supersonic bullshit, while yes, it's impressive, it's not like we don't have this, right? We got billionaires launching penises into space right now. I think we got the aerodynamics shit down. I think we know how to do this. Right? I mean, we're launching dicks into space, and I'm worried about some fucking hypersonic missiles from fucking China. Bro.
The entire science of aerodynamics peaked whenever that dick got launched into space.
It did, bro. When that dick got launched, it was the apex of science. Okay,
it's all downhill.
It got a dick launch and it had William Shatner in it. So
exactly, bro. So what are we fucking really worried about? Like, I get it. Like, but we already have a hypersonic missile program that's also in development. And also at the same time, there's a reason why the United States stopped pursuing certain things. And it's probably like, oh, okay, so now we can fire a missile that's twice as fast as the current one we have. Great. So now just, we kill them a little faster. It's a waste of time. Instead, we're like probably concentrating. We're fucking concentrating on rail guns and shit. Like, it uses like electronic fucking massive electronic magnetic pulses that fire fire fucking pieces of aluminum at like what 10 times the speed of sound. Like one little fucking thing the size of a Yeti cup can take out a building.
Dude, what
the fuck are you talking about?
You never seen that? Rail guns. Look it up. It's something the size. Imagine it's something the size of a fucking Yeti cup fired at like 10 or 50 times the speed of sound. Its kinetic energy can wipe out a building. So guess what? China.
Wouldn't it become plasma by the time it reaches its target?
No. But you know why? It doesn't reach heat because of magnets. So you know how the bullet trains work in Japan?
In Japan, yeah.
Same theory. Now you're just using it in a propulsive type matter, and it's encased in concrete. When it gets released, it's going like fucking 10 times the speed of sound. So guess what? Fuck off. You know what I'm saying? We just pull those motherfuckers out and go. We probably got Robotech jumping out of shit we don't even know yet. So I'm not worried. I think right now everyone's trying to look for some type of boogeyman shit. So I'm not worried about it.
Well, there was an opinion piece out there that said that perhaps these little Tic Tac looking things off San Diego were actually Chinese because we don't know what they are.
No, we do. Okay, you know what? Just so fucking funny. I just heard that's our hypersonic program. The triangle things with lights are our hypersonic fighters. We we already beyond that shit, bro. We got this shit, dude. Zuckerberg probably has a hypersonic nuclear missile in his backyard. Like, there's something the Chinese have ever done.
No, that's not
except for fucking lo mein. That's groundbreaking. Okay, so I'm not worried about it.
It's like coronavirus. Yeah, that's pretty groundbreaking.
Dude, we made that. What are you talking about? Fucking Fauci made that over there. Like, he went over there and made it, and they fucking fucked up because they tried to copy it. I mean, I'm not worried about it, bro. I'm not. I'm really not worried. I think China's a paper tiger.
What if fucking COVID-19 was their cheap, fucked up version of whatever the fuck we were brewing
exactly
over here?
What do you think it was? Fauci went down there, made the fucking coronavirus like a dipshit, and then took some Chinese money for some fucking like research. And of course, what do? They take intellectual properties, fucking copied it with like some mayonnaise and some fucking they instead of getting the real fucking spike proteins, they put some mayonnaise together with some fucking like some shit, and just came up with the funky ass stupid thing, man.
Like with the 3D printer.
Exactly. And guess what? They fucked it all up.
They 3D printed coronavirus?
Yeah, with mayonnaise. But see, instead of using like real DNA, RNA, they use like mayonnaise and some fucking and some Epsom salt.
Hold on a second.
And then now we got coronavirus.
I understand. Like, Rick's laughing, and I think that's funny too. But think about it. That's probably what they did.
Exactly. Dude, that's exactly what happened.
Like, that sounds ridiculous, right?
It's not.
But I bet they did. I bet that's how they did it. What's with like a 3D print?
Exactly, bro. They fucked up, and then they didn't pay their electric bill or some bullshit, and it fucked up one little mutation. Now it's out. And so in the end, that's what I'm saying. I'm not afraid at all of China. Like, not even a little bit. I think that's hypersonic missile shit. Just like, what was it? The other day, Russia tested the some other fucking type of thing. This is just all saber rattling from dinosaurs that are dying. These are just the last grasp of two oversized nations that are just crumbling. And it doesn't, I'm not really worried at all. I'm not going to lose any sleep tonight.
What's the other one?
I mean, like Russia, when they did their fuck, because they've been testing some shit that like, oh, we have this too, Ruska vodka.
Yeah.
And you're just like, look, bro,
whiskey,
none of that shit fucking does anything. It doesn't do anything. It's just the dying throes of two oversized totalitarian governments that are falling apart. So of course they're gonna do the same thing that like North Korea does and everyone else does when they had their little military parades, like Trump wanted.
Man, you know what I think? Bro. You know what I think North Korea is? I think it's it's a what?
A military state?
No, it is. It's that. It's definitely that. But I mean, aside from that,
I was just looking at Rick.
In addition to that, I think what it really is, it's like an experiment. I think it's an experiment via like China and Russia to see like how fucked up. Like, let's see what we can actually get away with. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's all funded and created and manufactured by other collaborators. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, because it just seems weird that it could naturally exist in the wild, if you know what I'm getting, like the analogy I'm kind of making here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm right with you. I know what you're saying.
You know, I think it's like the carbon lab created diamonds versus like the ones that happen.
Yep.
I think North Korea is like a carbon, like it was all set up.
Talking about Korea, have you guys seen the Squid Games thing on Netflix?
Dude, I haven't seen it. Is this
I know
awesome?
I don't watch like literally anything, so I haven't seen any, but I do know of it. Like, because fucking judge me all you want. My kids fucking watch it.
Aren't your kids on below 10?
No, my oldest is 12, dude. Chill out over there, bro. 12, 11. Yeah.
It's not like he's letting fucking like toddlers watch it, dude.
Well, I
mean, they're in the room, but they're doing other shit
sometimes. So
yeah, there you go. See, you're irresponsible too, so don't blame it.
Yeah. But dude, he loves the laser scenes. He loves Luke Skywalker like beating the shit out of those robots. You know, it's awesome.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's nothing, dude. That's a Western. Like,
it is.
Our whole society's been growing up on shit like that ever since the advent of popular entertainment. So like, whatever. Yeah, like physical violence, people getting beat up, good guys versus bad guys. That's all the same shit. But when it gets into sadistic sex crimes and you know what I mean? Malicious
like watching
torture and that kind of get that's where it gets a little fishy. Like, should we be subjecting youth to this? Or should we be handing them positive things and role models like Clifford, the big red dog? Who saves who saves people from burning buildings? You know what I mean? Or like let them watch fucking Squid Game.
Oh, Squid Games for sure. But you know what who we shouldn't let them watch is fucking Don Lemon, right?
No, definitely.
You know, if for someone with the name Lemon, this is one sour motherfucker, right? I mean, what happened?
Beautiful.
So I thank you. I'm a fucking pro. So basically, just to serve this one up. We have a situation where Sanjay Gupta went on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about COVID and whatnot. And part of it, Joe Rogan bags Don Lemon for talking shit, in particular about ivermectin and basically propagating the theory that ivermectin was solely a horse medication or a horse dewormer. And that's what Joe Rogan took. So in defense, Don Lemon doubled down and defended his comments. So does anyone have the direct quote of exactly what Mr. Lemon said? Because I want to quote.
I don't have it memorized. I listened to the whole exchange.
Right.
So go ahead with what you were about to say.
What I saw was him talking to Sanjay Gupta regarding it.
Right.
Regarding the conversation and
shaming him almost.
Yeah, like shaming him. And he was like, oh, no, Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan essentially said, well, your whole network's kind of filled with liars.
Right.
Because ivermectin literally, and look, and I'm not going to argue about the effectiveness of ivermectin. As a medical professional, and just as a person that has seen some of the data regarding ivermectin, it's stupid. I've been saying this from the beginning. Don't take that shit. It's not going to help you with COVID. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's fucking dumb.
Being said, there's two. There's two versions, right?
Right. Like well, there's one for horses, one for humans, and he clearly took the one for humans because he was prescribed it.
Right.
And what Rogan did though that I do appreciate was he so succinctly called out the sensationalization that the media has been doing with everything. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's bullshit. They were talking shit because he wasn't playing along with their narrative. And they attacked him. And this is supposed to be non-biased journalism. And he called him out. So Don Lemon, of course, fires back, doubling down on his stupidity. And once again, we have a media that not only can we not trust, but even when their hands caught in the cookie jar, they still can't admit the stupidity of their reasoning or what they've done. Right. I mean, it makes them look even worse.
Yeah, because they failed to acknowledge. Well, the thing too that was kind of obvious about this was whatever Sanjay Gupta was going to pipe in and say, "Well, I think what Joe Rogan is like." He got all over that shit and didn't even let him get just skip over that. And he shifted it. He shifted the conversation because obviously they were sensationalizing it and telling lies and cherry picking the facts. They wanted to present a certain idea that this was horse or not tranquilizers, horse dewormers, Joe Rogan, horse dewormers, horse dewormer, Rogan, and all this shit. And then, but Sanjay Gupta was like, well, hey, I just had a 3-hour conversation where we actually got to touch on. It's like, no, none of that here. It's either this or that. Right.
That's he bullied him.
He bullied him big time. And not only that, he said he fucking tried to take the piss out of Rogan when he's like, my colleague here, Sanjay, had a tongue-in-cheek conversation with Joe Rogan. It's like, well, no, he didn't, bro. That was a 3-hour fucking deep ass. Yep. Like that covered the topic. I don't know if you're watching or not, Don. That actually covered the fucking topic.
Yeah, you sound like he's like your stepdad or something. Don. Got that, Don.
Holy shit. And this is maybe a first, dude. 71 episodes in. We're like personally now calling out fucking journalists. I like it.
Don Lemon can suck my dick.
I mean, we've been calling it out. Just the nature of the show is that's kind of what it is anyway.
And this is coming from a liberal.
But but this in particular, dude, like you're obviously fraudulent as fuck.
Right.
With your stance and with the way it's so obvious to see. Anybody with half a fucking brain can understand what was going on here. This isn't stupid. I like that this happened. I like that you can say what you want about Rogan, but he's sort of he's the apex of the format. Okay. Right. At least as far as popularity. Yeah, right. As the medium, as far as open conversations that can drift wherever they want. It's not like a tight format where he's like, oh, I'm going to ask Sanjay 6 questions. Sanjay's going to answer them. We're going to conclude. And then this is a conversation like you would have with somebody else, but he's bringing on guests that actually have relevant topics. And so, like I said, whatever you can say about Rogan, hats off, because he's, like I said, he's leading the way for this format. Whether he's the best or that doesn't matter. But he's the most popular. He's got the most downloads. This is what the public is looking for.
Right.
They're not looking for CNN. You know what I mean? Fuck CNN.
Yeah. I'd like to see CNN go back to the days of like Bernard Shaw, Larry King,
great
Robert
shit,
Novak.
Right?
I mean,
that was legit.
Those were legit.
Or the little station that was one of the first ones that reported during the middle of the
Gulf War.
Yep, Gulf War. They were they literally, those motherfuckers were brave as hell. They had like a camcorder getting shot at, getting real footage of a war.
A live war.
and nobody else was doing it, and they did it. They were actually at one point I would say at least they attempted to be a real journalistic company.
That's how they got to where they were. That's
But
why
now,
people watched.
It's just sensationalism.
I can't see CNN doing that anymore.
Nope.
Or just talking about issues. I mean, Larry King was the Joe Rogan of the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he 100%. Was kind of. That's a cool analogy. I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, because he wasn't liberal or conservative. He just asked you the questions based on what was out there.
Yeah, right.
And he had a conversation with you.
Yep.
And that was the coolest thing about the Larry King live show.
Yep.
Is that it was just a conversation between him and his guest, and no holds barred, no slant here. He wasn't trying to get you. He's just asking the questions.
Mm-hmm.
But CNN will never do that again. They got Brad Skelter and Don Lemon and Don Lemon or whatever, and Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, dude, the Cuomo thing, that's rough.
So it's never going to happen again.
But But to be fair, though, same with Fox News, same with Newsmax, same with MSNBC. They all have this biasness, this dysfunction, this unwillingness to report something down the middle, right? Because it always has to be drama. It always has to be bullshit. And so it's pretty disturbing. I don't know. I feel bad in these instances for a lot of people regarding this kind of shit. It's ridiculous. And for Don Lemon to have done what he's done and continue to propagate is just even worse.
Yeah. And to shit on, like, and that's the thing, to downplay, to mock and shit on the format of, it's obvious what they're doing. It's just like when you're hating on the fucking rival to whatever chick you got your eyes on, right? You're going to say like, oh yeah, he's fucking whatever. He's this, but he's a liar. He's a piece of shit, whatever.
Right.
The same thing like with Don Lemon's like, oh yeah, it's fucking tongue in cheek interview. Is it tongue in cheek or is that like,
yeah.
Or is your shit complete bullshit?
Right.
Soap opera. Like we went from actual legit journalist, kind of whether or not it's implied or not, taking an oath to like share. There's like an integrity. It's kind of like a doctor, when you get your PhD or whatever, to help for the public, right? The public health.
Right.
It's like with journalists, there's an integrity that's supposed to be there. That's like this kind of thing where it's like you're supposed to be spitting out the truth to the people, because that's the whole function. That's the nature of the function of that. Whatever. The word escapes me, but journalism as a thing, that's what it's supposed to do. That's the goal of journalism, is to report what's going on to the people of a certain society.
Right.
So once you're undermining that, and once what the fuck are you at this point? That's what I'm saying. You're a soap opera actor,
right?
you're the show that you're on is just happens to be sort of constructed around you to present itself like it's journalism. It's not journalism. It's paid for advertising. You know what I mean? You're working.
It's like with any profession. Whenever you profits and money become the priority, it gets corrupted.
Yeah.
Journalism, in our field, pharmacy. I mean, look what they did to the pharmacists at your local retail.
Oh God.
And they're not replacing them, and they don't want to find jobs anymore.
Nope. I said, fuck it. Nope. I get it,
dude.
I get it, dude. I get it.
Whenever you get these companies that put profits over people, it becomes corrupted, and the whole industry goes to shit. It happened to the media. It happened to journalism. It's happened to pharmacy. It's happening in medicine. Fuck. I mean, and that's just something that I can think of right now. I don't know. Amazon. What is that to employees?
Oh, right. Oh God, it's horrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see where Benji's coming from.
Yeah, that's just. But here we are now, in this era of these like media conglomerates that are basically more concerned with getting clicks or likes or viewers or whatever it is versus actually doing their job. And so I thought it was pretty refreshing because I'll tell you one thing, Don Lemon would not say that to Joe Rogan's face, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much of a bitch is Don Lemon? Like, really? Do you think Don Lemon would fucking call out Joe Rogan to his face ever? Like ever. And not that Joe Rogan's even a violent person, but you know that Don Lemon's just one of those snickering type bitches that would just literally not say anything. Like, if they're in the same room, he's not even trying to make eye contact. Right. You know, so I just think it's shit talking, it's ridiculousness, and you know, I like the fact that Joe Rogan keeps bagging on him because Don Lemon really has nothing to say. And I hope Don Lemon, you know, maybe in a good universe, maybe we are in that good universe, one of the many of the multiverse, where this is the one where Don Lemon fucking learns a lesson and maybe becomes a good journalist. Maybe. But I doubt it. He's just going to probably double down and be more of a bitch. So, you know, that it is what it is. But that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. So good for fucking Rogan. That, and also for anyone that hasn't listened to the podcast between Rogan and Sanjay Gupta, you really should give it a good listen. There's a lot of great back and forth, a lot of good banter, a lot of good information that, you know, a lot of times, you know, people are afraid to say. And you know what? And people try to say things about Sanjay Gupta. I actually thought he did pretty well in that conversation.
Oh, big time.
I think he held his own. I think there's one part where Rogan got a little hyper, but I think Sanjay Gupta weathered the storm and then was still able to circle back. I mean, Sanjay Gupta, if anything, is able to handle his own.
He's a professional as a motherfucker. But I hope what the takeaway too from this is, like I said, you can say whatever you want about Rogan, but you know, he's how many fucking episodes in? Like, at this point, the guy has grown into a phenomenal interviewer. I mean, obviously, the fucking numbers speak. People like to listen to 3 hours of him talking to other fucking guests.
Yep.
There's obviously some value there. And so I think that, in other words, the Don Lemons and like the CNNs and sort of the traditional media still sort of, I'm sure, boxes him as the host of Fear Factor. He's stand-up comic and all these things. So that's where the joke comes in and like the mockery or whatever. But when you do a certain thing so many times, you become that. And that's what he does now. And he's done it for a long, long time. And he's gotten pretty fucking good at it. So it doesn't really surprise me. Well, not only that, but he talks for a living too, just like these hosts of these shows. So it's not like he's completely out of his water. But what I'm getting at is that, man, he had Gupta on his fucking toes for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a lot of things. So that was a great conversation nonetheless. A lot of good points.
We got Gupta using anecdotal evidence, which when you're a scientist,
he put him.
That doesn't happen very often when a scientist starts spouting anecdotal evidence, whereas that's usually the realm. When you're in science, you typically do not refer to anecdotal evidence.
He had him uncomfortable.
Whereas several times Sanjay Gupta kind of used anecdotal evidence. It kind of sounded like Rogan in a sense that they were both kind of not necessarily the strongest in the subject. So to me, I thought it was good, but at the same time, Sanjay Gupta didn't let go of his points. He still held firm on the vaccination.
He did help firm.
I think he did. I think he made some good points for vaccination. But then of course Rogan made some pretty good votes, confidence for just catching it. So it was good, man. It was good. I liked it a lot. It was a good one. That one.
You think it's about time for a little? I think we're getting towards break time.
Time for a breaky break.
A little break. Do what you got to do. You roll that shit, like that shit, smoke it.
How do you see break in Spanish? Break.
If you didn't already.
What did you just say?
That's y'all figure that amongst yourselves. I'm out of this conversation.
Oh shit. Anyways, take a little break. Hopefully China finds that hypersonic missile that's probably still circling the fucking earth, and we'll catch you on the flipper.
Yeah, they probably have him. Kim Jong-un's got him buried in some warehouse.
It's probably halfway across the moon right now.
But it doesn't have electricity. They can't get him out of the out of the hangar because they don't have electricity to. That's the only issue.
So,
anyway, enjoy the
sonic missile.
Enjoy the hypersonic tunes that I have selected here for your listening enjoyment. And take a piss, whatever you need to do. Pour that other drink. Roll that other spliff. Take that other.
Unless you're driving.
Take that.
Of which then we ask for you to be a little more responsible with 100%.
I do not condone any sort of irresponsible activities. But if you're in your comfort of your own home, you could definitely partake in these things. It will, and I can speak from experience, enhance your skip the noise experience. And that's what we aim to do. It should be a pleasurable listening experience in which you learn something and can tell your friends about it. Gosh, all the conversations you'll be having there, they'll just think you're so smart. Anyway, we will see you. We'll see you in a couple minutes here. We'll be back. And we're back. And recently, if you weren't already worried about the possible future of humanity, Zuckerberg just basically what he's doing, he's trying to get opening up like 10,000 jobs in the EU, which is already a little skeptical of the Facebook enterprise as is. But what he's wanting to create, and we talked on a previous show about that little advertisement he did. Or I don't even know if his advertisement is it was one of those like release events or whatever. And he had a little video component where he's got on the Ray-Bans. And anyway, these Ray-Bans are just sort of part of it. And, obviously Facebook had recently purchased, or not recently, but they purchased Oculus, right? So VR, augmented reality, we've known that's been on the horizon for a while. But anyway, Zuckerberg is basically wanting to create what he calls a metaverse. Which, the origins of the word, matter of fact, I think come from a sci-fi novel where it didn't work out too well. I don't think so. I don't know if this metaverse is such a positive thing, but essentially what it is, of course, he's trying to skate around the antitrust talk, and he's like, well, this is going to require a lot of collaboration from multiple enterprises. What is he? So what do y'all think? Is this dude just does he think we're fucking idiots? And is this just another step towards world domination? Or
it sounds like one of the Matrix, man.
Yeah.
Like you start off with the Oculus, start a virtual world, then you do that Ray-Bans glass thing. Pretty soon you're living in a virtual world that Mark Zuckerberg has created for you.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't he already though? Isn't that what Facebook is? Isn't that already what Facebook is? I mean, look at how much like fake anger and like social discord. And to be quite honest with you, the thinking of so many different types of people that he's basically sowed, grown, and marketed from Facebook. I mean, fuck. Hasn't he already created like a metaverse? Now at least we can like have really big dicks and like fly in the Oculus one now, I mean, you feel me? It's already kind of done it, except now we can all be just fucking awesome,
I'll be honest,
like Ready Player One type shit.
I'll be honest, man. I think you might have just nailed selection 1 and 2 if given all the options. Have a fucking huge dick and fly. That'd probably be choice 1 and choice 2.
Wouldn't everybody do that? Wouldn't everyone like have just this massive hog and fly around and just like be jacked? I mean, basically, while spouting either your right wing or your left wing beliefs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it would basically become that. I mean, fuck. It would be fucking pandemonium, but people would love that shit because that's kind of what people are doing now, right? That's what people do on Facebook. They front these pictures of happiness or oh, I did this, or they'll do some fucking quote by some
Right.
fucking outdated bullshit person, and they're trying to portray that they're something when really they're living out of a trailer, their mom smoking crack, what I'm saying? It's just fake.
For sure.
It's already fake.
But that's that's the arithmetic layer of it. Like the next step, like what he's already setting up, and that's what my point was like through these purchasers of like Oculus and all these things, he's taking it to the next, because you could say like Facebook itself, and that's the poster child of his whole, that was the originator or whatever. But in reality, it's like that's Instagram and then WhatsApp in Europe, and
right.
So he's got his hands in more, like, even though I guess my point is that, like, okay, Facebook at this point is like fucking Facebook. That's like people our age and older. Shit, nobody else gives a fuck about Facebook, but it's still there. Like, it's still this like skeleton that hangs around. Plus, in addition to all this other shit, what I'm getting at is like, he just keeps shoving these, like, trying to make these things sound so positive. Like, yeah, this is going to help, It's not like suicides have gone up or anything since even COVID, right? And people had to get on fucking Zoom meetings. Like, that wasn't enough of a cultural shift to fucking destroy humanity. No. Let's make that everything. Let's make this basically a World of Warcraft game that we all exist in and decide to participate in. And that's our new reality. And he's just like going full fucking bore. Like, he's downhill, skis pointed or parallel to each other. Like, he ain't going back, and like, this motherfucker's all downhill, leaning into it because he's going to make the most money that way. So in other words, I don't think he gives a fucking single fuck about the direction of humanity or the consequences of anything that he's doing and how he's running this fucking conglomerate.
Do you want to tell me that there is a corporation out there that wants to make money? Is that what you're telling me?
Dude,
that there's a corporation out there that doesn't give a fuck about people that just want to make money?
That's every corporation. I mean, that's every corporation. That's every corporation.
Who the fuck? When does this happen? I thought every corporation out there was for the betterment of humanity.
Valid point. No, that's a valid point. I get it. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, like, when you're playing with these kind of, we've all agreed, right, that like Twitter's a business. They can say whatever they want. They own the business. But the argument is that, like, it's not just a business. If you're being fucking real, just like Facebook is not just a business, or Facebook plus all the tentacles that are extended up to all the other parts of the whole reality they've created around themselves. At what point does anybody fucking step in and be like, wait, I don't know if the species is ready for this fucking bullshit. Fucking stop, dude. Stop with this fucking bullshit.
So the thing with Facebook and Twitter and all that, and yeah, you're right. The thing about them censoring people and why it's so wrong, because it's counter to the First Amendment, right? And people are saying, well, they're a private company, they can ban whoever they want. But unless you have the government create their own Facebook or their own Twitter, where they allow the First Amendment to proliferate, you don't want the government making their own version of Twitter for the people. Okay, they allow private companies to do that, and in hopes that they honor the traditions of the country that they're in, i.e., the Bill of Rights, First Amendment. Let everyone say what they want to say without censorship, and that's what they're violating right now. They're not honoring that.
Well, I mean, I hate to throw this one in there, but several of the corporations that are in the social media game, the hottest one is owned by the Chinese, which don't let their people talk at all. TikTok. So, yeah. So you're kind of like, we can spout all this and whatever, but corporation is going to do what corporation is going to do, right? I mean, that's still the same fucking thing, but to just that in reality, that's what corporations do. Corporations don't do shit like that. Yeah. They do whatever's best for themselves.
What does it say when a Chinese company gives you more freedom of expression than, say, an American company like Twitter or Facebook or YouTube?
They let Americans do it, but in their country they don't, because it's just part of their own play of the propaganda.
Well, they honor
they're pumping propaganda
and laws.
Well, they're pumping propaganda through it into our network, using our own laws against us. I mean, that's what they've always done.
Dude, I don't know if nurses dancing in hallways is propaganda from the Chinese, man.
A lot of them are anti-vax nurses dancing in hallways, or there's quite a bit. If you look, there's actually a huge undercurrent now, and it's kind of become a reality where TikTok is being basically overcome with right-wing propaganda. And to think that, oh no, it is. It is. No, there's several articles on it. Nope, there's several articles on it, dude. This is reality. This is what's happening on TikTok too, dude.
These articles are from CNN.
But if you look where these, if you look where this is coming from, it's coming from the Chinese. It's a Chinese website that is basically propagating right-wing propaganda. So, but that's just how it goes, right? That's what a corporation can do, right? So, I mean, not to try to get into that whole discussion about corporations and shit, but that's what they do. They do what's in their best benefit themselves. Period. So he's going to create the metaverse. We're all going to be jacked in. We're going to have to watch 30-second clips of some bullshit commercial so he can fly around with our big dicks having a blast. I mean, that's where it's going to come, right? We're already living in a fake world. Might as well just go all in. I mean, didn't you see this coming? Hadn't anyone seen this coming? I mean, fucking, have you seen Ready Player One or read the book?
No.
Snow Crash.
All I know is that the DeLorean comes out, and that's pretty much all I've seen from the previous.
Dude, the DeLorean was pretty. The book is substantially better than the movie, but the movie was still fun. My kids liked it. But in the end, like, you can also look at Snow Crash. You can look at any of the cyberpunk or steampunk type novels. This is all part of that. That's what this whole thing is just that whole creation of this alternative universe where we have avatars or whatever to propagate this fakeness of our reality. So, I mean, it was already coming, right? This was what's going to happen. He's just going to be the first lizard person to start it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think a lot of Instagram is full of shit. Honestly, like, not even the influencers, just with regular common people.
Oh yeah.
And when they start posting stuff about like their couples and I love my girlfriend or I love my wife or whatever, it's fake, man. You're like,
oh, it's all
shit, something
fake.
happened there,
Oh, dude, anytime someone posts about their significant other online, it's usually because they're either A, in trouble, or B, trying to get other people to check out their shit so they can fuck them. I mean, it's all just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what the fakeness of social media has been. And that's what's been created from it.
Even I post shit on Instagram. My Instagram is private, but
it's pretty good.
I post shit. Huh?
It's pretty good. I like your Instagram.
No, well, the thing is, I post videos about my kids.
Yeah.
And how they're so fun and cute and this and that, but they don't know the reality that they vomit all over the goddamn place. They cry for goddamn nothing. Okay, I'm driving and I can't even listen to the radio because someone's just whining their ass off about wanting to play with a G.I. Joe. I mean,
that's why you turn the radio up louder.
That's the stuff I don't post, and so I feel bad about it because I'm thinking there's people out there who are thinking about having kids and I'm giving them the wrong impression and I'm not telling them the full story.
Well, yeah. Well, so if you did. Well, no, but that's been going on since the beginning of time. If people actually told how hard it was and really could convey how hard it is to be a parent, no one would fucking have babies. It's fucking hard. Yeah. But what the sad thing is? Even when someone does tell you, like, remember I talked to you before you had kids, I was like, dude, it's really fucking hard. Even when someone tells you that, the need or the compulsion to reproduce is so blinding that you're like, oh, I could do it. I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's pretty fucking crazy. It's more for women. They get blinded by the idea of being a mom and having kids without realizing what happens, huh?
Dudes just want to dump clips. It's just like, oh, we can have sex.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is what, but women want to have like kids and everything. Then when they get them, dude, it's like they don't want them. It's like they want to dump them off. They want to dump them off to their mom. They want to dump them to their their husbands. They want
not touching that one, motherfucker. No.
I'm just telling you, dude. Like, it's different. Okay, it's not everything. It's not all that it seems.
I would rather talk about China. I would rather talk about anything else. I ain't talking about that shit. You know what, man?
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh shit. No, and then Rick, our next fucking podcast. So Rick, where are you broadcasting from? Cardboard box.
Yeah.
on Congress.
My
I saw that
car.
noise. I'm under the freeway.
Mother freeway. It's a lot of homeless over here. They're all looking at me. I lock my doors though.
I like my tent.
Well, speaking of locking up houses and shit, not to switch gears, but I wanted to just kind of follow up a little bit more of what's going on with my housing conspiracy here. Zillow has stopped making offers and all housing transactions.
They've got out of that market?
No, there was a document leak last week basically where Zillow basically said no more. They will no longer be purchasing or I believe even selling homes right now.
Zillow? You could buy homes in Zillow?
Nope, you cannot. So, and I actually have some personal or anecdotal evidence where I had a friend whose mother, he had sold his house. So it's one of these companies, got a pretty good chunk of change. But his mother also did the same, was trying to do the same. And they basically said, she was halfway into the process and they pulled the offer and said, we're not going to be doing this for a while.
Why?
And this is happening across the country. Well, it's because it's like I said, not to touch again on Evergrande and all that, but right now the housing market is totally fake. Just like somebody just took the GameStop theory and applied it to homes. So basically, we have a bunch of homes with false evaluations that are being pushed up by not even necessarily demand, but by false perceptions. And so if you look at all these companies like Zillow, Red Door, all of them, they've been purchasing homes at very high rates. Why? Because it drives up the comps for that area. Mm-hmm. And this is my other tenfold belief. I really think that they're selling the houses to each other. Subsidiaries of Zillow will sell from Zillow to someone else saying, oh, I bought this house was sold because all the comps going to show is this house was sold for $495,000, even though every other house in that neighborhood is $320,000. So it's going to drive up the seller's, expectations, and also continue to increase the investments that Zillow and them have already made in that current neighborhood. It's dude, there's a real long game, a big con going on with real estate as we speak.
So basically what you're saying is Zillow will purchase a home from, say, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
At a reasonable price.
Yes.
And then increase the price on that thing and then have one of their companies purchase that to increase the values of the homes around it.
Yes.
Well, they'll not just one home. They'll purchase several homes from various Mr. Smiths.
Or even paying more for the homes just to show the comp. Taking the loss, knowing that they will never necessarily sell it for that unless their plan is fully utilized, of which then all the homes that they already own and then whatever subsequent properties are still going to make money on because they're going to be driving up the comps accordingly. Which is the only reason. Basically what happened with GameStop, in a sense, it's just like, people have tried to short the housing market and they just called everybody out, pulled inventory, and then created this fake pricing war, which has resulted into where we're at now. But as you can tell, several markets are cooling, huh?
Yeah, that's a shit ton load of money.
Well, of course, but if it's coming from China, it doesn't matter.
You're talking about like
trillions.
Yeah.
Yes, trillions. Oh, I know. And it's coming from China. But notice that as soon as Evergrande is going to be defaulting on their debt the 23rd, officially, this is one of many Chinese companies that will be doing the same thing. All of them under these same umbrellas. All of them, they're trying to say Evergrande's only 300 billion. Some people are saying 600-700 billion in liabilities. And this is like one of 10 or 20 companies that will be doing the same thing in China that have similar valuations. And notice Zillow's going to stop buying because guess what? They don't have the fake money to do it anymore. Just like BlackRock Capital, just like all these other people. Yeah, man. I'm telling you guys.
Let me ask you a question. If the let's just say there's a domino effect because Evergrande falls, right?
Right.
In your theory, in your conspiracy, are you saying that the rest of the home values are going to fall again?
They're going to plummet. And then what you're going to have is a bunch of jackasses who had the big ass the big old FOMO going on, worried about that. Oh my God, I got to get a house. That got carried up in this frenzy of purchasing these homes at way overvalue. Well,
Like
now own turds, right? They'll earn shit. Well, first off, buying a home in Dallas, I even feel bad because everything here should not cost more than 53 cents, but because it's a shithole. But
it's
in
not a
the end,
shithole. Everybody
it is
loves
shithole.
Dallas.
No one likes it. It's a shithole. But in the end, though, all of this real estate's overpriced, and all these people will end up holding loans and owing substantially more than the house will ever be worth, because this particular market was falsely created.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, I get that part.
Right.
But here's the thing: if you're going to buy a forever home, does it matter what the value of the house is? Because you've already financed it for 30 years. You're okay with the payment. Who cares if the value goes up and down if you're not going to move?
Well, right, but that's not a majority of Americans. A majority of Americans will move at least, I think, and don't quote me, I think they said four times in their lifetime, 4 to 5 times. So that no one necessarily buys a home and keeps it for 30 years forever. No one ever does that anymore. So these are individuals that will be trying to jump from one place to the other. Or what happens if life happens? You will not be able to get yourself out of a negative situation. That's really sucks. Negative. You're fucked. There is no like, oh, maybe I'll be okay. No, you bought a house for $500,000 that was worth $300,000. And the worst part is the banks evaluated and appraised the house for $400,000. So you had to pay $100,000 cash just to get this home that you will never get back in any way, and then still pay $400,000 more.
Okay, here's a crazy theory about that. That's true. Under normal circumstances, that would have happened, right? You have
the banks can. Most time when you buy a house, if they say, okay, I want it for 384, you can always throw the contingency only if the bank appraises it for 384.
Yeah.
But now.
Okay, but hear me out on this one. And yeah. I think this is going a little bit more further out. Okay, so I know what you're saying, right? You got a house that was overpriced. The guy loses his job. Let's just say,
right.
And he has to sell his house for $300,000, and he's stuck with $200,000 that he's not going to be able to pay off. So he's fucked, right?
Yep.
He's got no job. He's got $200,000 in debt plus whatever else he's got going on.
Yeah.
But what if the rate of inflation in the country is so high that the value of the house remains high because materials are too expensive to make new homes, and people are just sticking around with what they've got because nothing's being built anymore because it's so damn expensive?
Well,
then what?
Right. But unfortunately, in that scenario, that's doomsday.
Why is that?
Because you won't never see 50 to 60% rates of inflation that would require that to happen. If that happens, it's the end of days. We're done.
Dude, I don't know.
That's a complete economic collapse that there is no recovery from that.
You got the price of wood, PVC.
Well, no. Wood's gone down consecutively by 30 to 40% every single month since June. Wood is in mass.
It's still high.
But it's nowhere near what it was a year ago. It's gone down significantly. And so is other building materials. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. Where the prices of the materials are still high, but the existing home sales, those are being, it's unbelievable.
Let me put it another way. We'll use an analogy of cars.
Ooh, I like
okay, let's just say I have a truck and I purchased this truck for $50,000 because I got ripped off by the car dealer guy, right? Now I got this truck. It's 10 years old. I paid $50,000 for it. But because of the car shortage, my truck has actually maintained its value because, getting a new car now is impossible. You're going to be paying $10,000 over sticker price.
Right.
Okay. So now people want my truck because it's still a very good truck. Nothing's wrong with it. Clear title. It may still retain its value now that $50,000 doesn't seem so bad anymore. I can still sell it for that much.
Right.
What do you think about that?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. If those conditions occur to where you could do that 10 years later, the whole economy is completely collapsed. like we're in the worst situation you could imagine because that's hyperinflation. Like that's third world country.
That's Venezuela
shit.
type. Yeah.
No, that's even worse than Venezuela. That's like fucking like that's like Somalia. You're fucked. Yeah, dude, you're fucked. So I get what you're saying. I just don't think I don't think the rabbit hole will go that far because we have too many safeguards. First off, we have 3,800 nuclear warheads. No one's going to collect shit from us. Second,
they're not hypersonic, so we're fucked. Okay,
don't worry about it. I'm not really worried about the one hypersonic that sneaks through that doesn't end up hitting China itself. What I'm saying is, in the end, we have the resources to prevent a complete collapse. But the problem is that the housing market is built on like a house of cards. There is no true foundation that will support it. And as soon as it collapses, it can go all the fucking way down. We saw that in 2008. We could easily see that in 2021 with this massive inflation of home prices. All this value, people have determined that homes are like the stock market. And when you do that, I mean, just like the stock market crashes, so can home prices crashes. I mean, imagine 40, 50% reductions in home values. That's bad. That's horrible. What happens to all the loans that are taken? I mean, do the banks reevaluate the loans at that point and deem them as, this is too sketchy. These are not, they get downgraded status. Do they get junk status? This all can fucking happen, man.
I mean, if the bank locked itself on a $500,000 loan for 30 years, that money may not be worth $500,000 in a couple of years because of the rate of inflation.
Right.
So
I get you.
Interest rate. So
I get you.
I don't know, dude. I mean, under normal circumstances, like in the 2008 crash, there was no shortage of labor or materials. There was no inflation. There was no COVID. That's why it crashed so quickly. But here, I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting conundrum because you have, I get it. Home values are supposed to crash, but because the inflation is so goddamn high, we may not see a difference.
Right. And I see that scenario could play out, but if the inflation is that high, I'm more terrified of your fucking scenario than I am of home prices crashing.
Yeah.
I'm more terrified because that means that milk's going to be $9 a gallon type shit.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm scared of. That's even more terrifying than my situation where things actually reset.
No.
So I have more of the optimistic view. A crash would actually reset values now and actually probably in the long run make things better.
I mean, I would hope for a crash too, man. Trust me. I'm all for it. I'm all for it because I want prices to go down. But dude,
well, I don't necessarily I'm not necessarily saying prices go down, but I think there needs to be a reset of values. And also, it just, but that's just how it's going right now because, we're going to end up like China with their ghost cities, 65 million homes that are vacant in a country like whole cities. Like we've mentioned this before, but the crazy part is that now the Chinese government's not allowing these people to sell them. There's been a 17% decrease in residential sales in China. There's a big fucking economic bubble there. If it pops, it's not about inflation. It's just about complete crashes. That's what I'm saying. Like, if China was super strong financially, the inflation aspect would be very terrifying, more so than what they are now, which is basically a fake economy propped on mountains and mountains of debt.
I mean, everybody knew that, dude. You think they could build a super railway system across the country in 10 years?
You're right. Yep. You're right.
On the cheap?
Oh, yeah. Well, they did on the cheap. That shit crashes like every other day. But the reality is now we're going to start seeing more of what's happening with that system. So I really think we're going to see a mega crash. We're going to see China pop.
What's going to happen, the way that China corrects this is they're going to have to turn to a capitalist system where they have property taxes.
They'd have to relinquish control. They'd have to.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Dude, they're gonna have to. I mean, you're gonna have billions of people who are gonna go hungry. They're gonna have to change something.
Hey, bro, sorry, that's already part of Chinese history. That's already happened multiple times. That just happened whenever Mao was in power, when the Great Famines. They said they literally think 40 to 60 million people died during their last famine, when he pulled everyone out from the farms to go work in the factories. Look it up. 40 to 60 million people died in their famine. It's just kind of, well, it's just what it is. What it is. It's how it went. Mao was, sitting, drinking tons of fucking booze and having a blast while all of his people starved to death. That's kind of what happens there, man. So to say that, Xi Jinping is going to be any different, I don't see it.
No, he's not the caring type.
Nope. So guess what? Let them eat cake. Let them all die. Because in the end, it's only about the party. It's only about the power. And that's what it's always going to be. So I really do see a big crash. So to me, I think there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So ladies and gentlemen, just, I keep saying it. I know I feel kind of doomsayer, but the numbers keep clicking.
I hope you're right. I hope prices come crashing because I've got my net ready. I'm ready to catch those properties.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, if you have cash right now, it's fucking game time. Like I'm just, dude, I got that shit. Everything. Oh, I got that shit fucking in mutual funds and just easily obtainable cash I can just grab because, if it does fall, you got to move. And people are going to want to sell to anyone who has cash because that's the only thing that's going to really, fix this problem because credit is going to be shot too,
Well, you got like payday loans. They're lending,
Oh, yeah. And then they're going to go gangster, start taking motherfuckers' kidneys and shit. Hey, I mean,
still lending, right? I mean,
if you look at debt, we have the country's like $1.6 trillion in auto loan debt, $1.2 trillion in student loan debt, or no, 2.1 trillion. Some massive number.
How's that going?
Oh, I don't know. Fucking talk about it. Fuck you, Biden. He can't even fucking do anything. He's just stupid. It's just the most ridiculous guy. He basically, for all, I actually thought that he would do at least something, like at least get rid of the interest rates, right? At least say, look, you can borrow money to go to college. You're not going to be charged interest rates. How about that? That would be a fair assessment, right? That would be fair.
Or you can act. Or how about just at the very least make it so that you don't have to pay student loans when you claim bankruptcy,
right? Or something along the lines of that. Exactly. Or just say, hey, we're not going to fucking charge interest rates. I mean, I don't see how unfair that is at all. But guess what? He's doing nothing because once again, it's just very sad. The Democrats are going to lose power in 2022. They're probably going to lose the Senate. I don't know if they'll lose the House, but they get pretty close. And in the end, it's going to be another deadlocked government that does shit. And he had the possibility to legalize marijuana, to forgive student loans, to do so many amazing things, but all he's hung up on is just spending $3.5 trillion on shit.
Bill Maher said it best. He said, build back better. He said, how are you going to build back better when there's a label shortage and there's a material shortage? What the fuck are you going to build back?
Oh, now you're claiming Bill Maher, this motherfucker over here.
He's got red pilled, man. Bill Maher's been red pilled. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's been red pilled.
No, he is not. No, dude, because you know what? It's the old school liberals that are going to save it all. In the end, it's going to be the Jon Stewart. It's going to be the Bill Mahers. It's going to be all of us old school liberals who grew up liberal, but not fucking stupid. Because we're slowly becoming moderates in this political zone. We're the ones that are going to save it all. It's not going to be the hardcore right. It's not going to be the hardcore left. It's going to be the old school liberals who fucking save it all. To be quite honest with you, a Bill Clinton in this time frame would probably save it all.
I don't know about that.
No, he was, dude. He was a moderate through and through, an old school moderate that didn't try to get controversial, handled most of his drama except for Dick Sucks in the non-public matter. No, it's going to be an old school liberal that saves it all. Not going to be Mancini or whatever his fucking name is, or Sonoma. The other, it's not those two. Those two are fucking dumb as shit too. But it's going to be an old school liberal that saves it all, man.
I don't know. I read somewhere where they were saying that old school liberals and conservatives actually have a lot more in common than, say, these neoliberals, progressive types, and anybody else. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
I think so. I think it's the whole country is depending on old school liberals.
Like the Ann Richards liberal has a lot more in common with a common conservative.
That's why I keep harping on this fucking dude, but someone like Colin Allred, a Texas Democrat, someone who can wade the line and stay in the middle, but not become just a total douchebag on either end. You know what I'm saying?
Go total AOC on everyone.
Exactly. Not go total AOC or go full Trump Nazi. Just somebody who just says some common sense shit right now could really go far. And so I think that's kind of where we are political spectrum wise. But I think with that, I think we're gonna start getting ready to wrap this bitch up.
Benji, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
Got a little carried away there. What are you doing?
Dude, you got two bottles of lotion. You got 2 bottles of lotion, been working it for a minute, bro. Hey,
just letting you guys.
The next page isn't gonna have anything better, bro. You just gotta go. Okay, you just gotta let it out.
It's true, right?
You're page 3 now.
It's the same. I know. Yeah, it's
stop chasing the dragon. Before. Okay, stop chasing the dragon. There's only so much Brazilian fart porn you could handle in one night.
It's not wrong, man. I'm just gotta kind of come to grips with it and figure out a strategy for
come to grips to
for recovery.
Definitely get a grip on it.
You got to get a good grip on it. That's how it comes.
Definitely.
But with that being said, Ben's masturbation aside and some crazy shit, I think that's a good show. I think we're just going to wrap this one up in a neat, nice bow and call it a night, gentlemen. So where can they find us?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at skip_the_noise_podcast. They can find us on Twitter at Skip the Noise PO1 or Facebook Skip the Noise, one word podcast. It's like the first name, last name type of thing. Or you can find us in the
MySpace.
Find us in the MySpace. You can find us in the metaverse, probably.
And then please keep sending your cucking letters for the brown python. He is employed. He is employed and he will be doing whatever needs to get more listeners. So just whatever you guys need. Just we're trying to grow the show. So please tell a friend this week, our neighbor, or someone you don't like, or whatever the fuck you want to do. But get some more people listening. And to our Cali peeps, we said, what's up? Don't worry.
You
guys are keeping it real.
Appreciate
Fuck
it.
Alabama. Except for that one guy or a girl.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Except for that one guy, girl.
Fuck the rest of your state, though. But y'all keep it real. Represent. We'll catch you on the flip.
Peace. See y'all next week.